Saint Augustine Commentary on Psalm 45. This psalm, even as we ourselves have been singing with gladness together with you, we would beg you in like manner to consider with attention together with us. For it is sung of the sacred marriage feast, of the bridegroom and the bride, of the king and his people, of the Saviour and those who are to be saved. His sons are we, in that we are the children of the bridegroom. And it is to us that this psalm is addressed, whose title has the words, For the son of Korah, for the things that shall be changed. Why need I explain what is meant by, for the things that shall be changed? Everyone who is himself changed recognizes the meaning of this. Let him who hears this, for the things that shall be changed, consider what was before and what is now. And first let him see the world itself to be changed, lately worshipping idols, now worshipping God, lately serving things that they themselves made, now serving him by whom they themselves were made. Observe at what time the words for the things that shall be changed were said. Already by this time the pagans that are left are in dread of the changed state of things, and those who will not suffer themselves to be changed see the churches full, the temples deserted, see crowds here and here solitude. They marvel at the things so changed. Let them read that they were foretold. Let them lend their ears to him who promised it. Let us believe him who fulfills that promise. But each one of us, brethren, also undergoes a change from the old to the new man, from an infidel to a believer, from a thief to a giver of alms, from an adulterer to a man of chastity, from an evildoer to a doer of good. To us then be sung the words, For the things that shall be changed. And so let the description of him by whom they were changed begin. For it goes on, For the things that shall be changed, to the sons of Korah for understanding. A song for the beloved. For that beloved one was seen by his persecutors, but yet not for understanding. For had they known him, they would never have crucified the Lord of glory. 1 Corinthians 2:8. In order to this understanding, other eyes were required by him when he said, He that sees me sees my Father also. John 14:9. Let the psalm then now sound of him, Let us rejoice in the marriage feast, and we shall be with those of whom the marriage is made, who are invited to the marriage, and the very persons invited are the bride himself. For the church is the bride, Christ the bridegroom. There are commonly spoken by balladists certain verses to bridegrooms and brides, called epithalamia. Whatever is sung there is sung in honor of the bride and bridegroom. Is there then no bride chamber in that marriage feast to which we are invited? Whence then does another psalm say, He has set up his tabernacle in the sun, and he is even as a bridegroom coming out of his chamber? The nuptial union is that of the word and the flesh. The bride chamber of this union, the virgin's womb. For the flesh itself was united to the word, whence also it is said, Henceforth they are not twain but one flesh. The church was assumed unto him out of the human race, so that the flesh itself, being united to the Word, might be the head of the church, and the rest who believe members of that head. Mine heart has uttered a good word. Verse 1. Who is the speaker? The Father or the prophet? For some understand it to be the person of the Father, which says, Mine heart has uttered a good word, intimating to us a certain unspeakable generation. Lest you should haply think something to have been taken unto him, out of which God should beget the Son, just as man takes something to himself, out of which he begets children, that is to say, an union of marriage, without which man can't beget offspring. Lest then you should think that God stood in need of any nuptial union to beget the Son, he says, Mine heart has uttered a good word. This very day your heart, O man, begets a counsel and requires no wife. By the counsel so born of your heart, you build something or other, and before that building subsists, the design subsists. And that which you are about to produce exists already in that by which you are going to produce it, and you praise the fabric that as yet is not existing, not yet in the visible form of a building, but on the projecting of a design. Nor does anyone else praise your design unless either you show it to him or he sees what you have done. If then by the word all things were made, and the word is of God, consider the fabric reared by the word, and learn from that building to admire his counsels. What manner of word is that by which heaven and earth were made? Hebrew 11:3. And all the splendor of the heavens, all the fertility of the earth, the expanse of the sea, the wide diffusion of air, the brightness of the constellations, the light of sun and moon. These are visible things. Rise above these also. Think of the angels, principalities, thrones, dominions, and powers. Colossians 1:16. All were made by him. How then were these good things made? Because there was uttered forth a good word by which they were to be made. It proceeds, I speak of the things which I have made unto the king. Is the Father still speaking? If the Father is still speaking, let us inquire how this also can be understood by us consistently with the true Catholic faith. I speak of the things that I have made unto the king. For it is the Father speaking of his own works to his Son, our King. What works is the Father to speak of to the Son, seeing that all the Father's works were made by the Son's agency? Or in the words, I speak of my works unto the King, does the word I speak itself signify the generation of the Son? I fear whether this can ever be made intelligible to those slow of comprehension. I will nevertheless say it. Let those who can follow me do so, lest if it were left unsaid, even those who can follow should not be able. We have read where it is said in another psalm, God has spoken once. So often has he spoken by the prophets, so often by the apostles, and in these days by his saints,